for New Zealand, what we're excited about is supporting the growth in New Zealand, both in terms of participation and in terms of event growth, so number of new events. We are working with New Zealand on what we've termed the Road to 100, where we will, as an Asia Pacific entity, be funding those events centrally rather than previously requiring funding locally, which we think will have a massive impact on the growth across New Zealand in the coming years. Parkrun Asia Pacific is funded in a number of ways. That's through sponsorship, through government grants, donations, and our retail offering. So whilst Parkrun is free to participate, it's not free to deliver, and we will continually strive to increase our revenue to ensure continued growth of Parkrun across our region. One of the ways that people can get involved is in our retail offering. We have a dedicated Asia Pacific shop that we are looking to expand and add new and localised items. One of the things we're reviewing at the moment is some local items being dispatched out of New Zealand, and also some locally sourced items from New Zealand. We currently have commercial partners in New Zealand, which are the Athlete's Foot, Brooks and Polar, and we are in discussions with some other organisations in New Zealand, so watch this space. At this stage there won't be a bank account set up for New Zealand, and I think the part of the need for a bank account has previously been local funding. We've taken away that requirement now, so there is less need for a bank account. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but when we look at doing things like that, we review the administration side involved and weigh up the benefits in that additional work. As I said, now that we're funding centrally events in New Zealand, there is less requirement to do so. At this point in time, we're not looking to make Parkrun New Zealand a charity. It's a very complex process and one that we need to investigate thoroughly. We're currently undergoing the charity registration with Parkrun in Australia, and so we will take learnings from that to determine what other areas or what other regions in Parkrun Asia Pacific we look to make a charity or not. For those wanting to make a donation to Parkrun in New Zealand, we would assess the situation, what we're trying to achieve by that. If we're trying to achieve a tax-deductible donation, at this point in time, we don't have the means for that. However, if it's for a requirement for a local event team, there's certainly ways that we can look at that. So I would encourage you to reach out to our operations team, and we can determine what you're trying to achieve and the best way for us to see that happen. How do we strike the right balance between ensuring global consistency and recognising local and cultural differences? Well, that is an ongoing learning process for all of us. We need to be open-minded and open to having the discussions and conversations and feedback around the differences in local and diverse cultures. One great example of that is the First Nations names, and looking at incorporating those into our event names where possible and where appropriate. Our IT support systems are based in the United Kingdom, which is where Parkrun first started, and they play a vital and integral role for our business operations. Launching Parkrun in additional Asia Pacific countries is definitely on the cards. However, as part of our action plan for Asia Pacific, we're looking to review that in year 2 and 3 of our 5-year strategy. So we will be undertaking a feasibility study where we will review different areas and the viability of Parkrun in those locations. We have had a ton of inquiries already and continue to get inquiries from places like Indonesia, Korea, the Cook Islands, East Timor, Sri Lanka, there's definitely lots of opportunities to explore there. So it will happen, but it will be a process where we aim to get this right and start slowly. Is parkrun doing anything to address the environmental impact of parkrun tourism? This is a really interesting one because we believe that parkrun should be how people want it to be for themselves. So we're really careful not to judge people on how they take part in parkrun, whether that's walking, jogging, running, volunteering, or whether that's travelling somewhere else to do it. There's a lot of challenges out there, and if that's what motivates someone to go to a parkrun outside of their area, at the end of the day, that's making them healthier and happier, and that's what is really important to us. In terms of the environmental impact of people travelling, it was pointed out in the session that we held in Wellington, where that is no different to travelling to a sports match, for example. So I think it's a really complex issue. Something to note is that we don't actively promote tourism. We're not actively encouraging people to travel around, but we are accepting of people doing what they need for their mental health and well-being. We prioritise the safety of parkrun participants' data, and we operate in the strictest form under what is called GDPR, which is General Data Protection Regulation. What we don't do is sell your data to other people. So if we have communications with a partner, we will always manage the way that the communications are sent out. It comes from us on behalf of the partner. We never give a list, we never will give a list of your data to our partners for them to do as they see fit. It will always be managed by us. Will we combine the run, walk and volunteer milestone credits? The short answer to that is no. The longer answer is we have considered this, we've debated, we've listened to feedback, we've been really thorough in understanding the implications. Now, if we started from scratch, yes, we would have incorporated them both as the same because we value participation the same. But we're so far down the line that could you imagine you've planned your 100th parkrun and it's in 4 months' time, you've thought it out, you want to go to a particular event, you want to go to a new event that you've never been to, or you want to travel to another country, or whatever you want to do, you've planned it. You've got your family, you've got your friends there. And overnight, we combine your volunteering with your run walk credits, you instantly go to 135. You miss that opportunity to have your 100th, to celebrate your 100th. So overnight, if we combined it, there would be so many people that don't have that opportunity to celebrate what they've been working hard for. So we made the decision to keep them separate for that reason, one of the reasons, because it would fundamentally change what people are trying to achieve. Will we be translating parkrun websites into other languages? Absolutely, that's the intention. Unfortunately, all of these things take time. Ultimately, the goal is that you can look at any parkrun website in any language. So you could look at the you could look at the Australian website in Japanese. You could look at the New Zealand website, but it's in German. So absolutely, that is the intention, but it is a work in progress. Parkwalker shirts, we had a lot of questions about the availability of these. I'm going to say there's a secret in store, something we've got up our sleeves, so watch this space. Are there plans to dispatch retail goods in places outside of Australia and the UK? The answer to that is definitely. We are looking and exploring options at the moment to dispatch locally in a number of the territories that we operate in. New Zealand is definitely one of those. It's on the list and we are reviewing. What we think is important is to be able to offer the same things to everyone in an equal form. And at the moment, the cost is quite preventative to order something, having it shipped to New Zealand. So we're working on it, and I hope to be able to come back with some changes to our operating retail experience shortly. We are definitely working on bringing milestone shirts out in larger sizes. For us, we're all about inclusivity, and we want that to show through the offerings that we have available.